welcome back to Premier League Primetime. No, this is not an episode. If you want to take a look at the episode, go back and take a look. All the lads are back. And Sirius, of course, pulling a Sirius, pulled out a little surprise from the hat and decided it would be a great idea to throw in a surprise guest appearance in the middle of our show. Which he had a lovely and cheeky little entrance there. So big up to yourself, Scott, for that one. But anyways, nobody cares about that because I'm here with one of my very good friends, and so I'm apt to say that is, he's recently he's had to make a lot of comebacks from some major things, and a massively big up to yourself. I have my longtime friend Derek here. First of all, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on the show. It's good to be here.
Yeah, and it's great to have you. And before we start, I'm very grateful to see you here. You're all good. It's definitely been something that's a long time coming, and it's definitely really surreal to see you looking back to your back to your best. It really is.
Yeah. Thank you.
And but we're here to talk about a team that I don't like really, but I know that that Derek likes. Leeds, the team who kept Man United at 0-0 draw, and made me and wanted to make me fall asleep after seeing McFred in midfield. So let's. I wanted to ask you a couple questions about Leeds. I wanted to start off with your fellow countryman, Mr. Marcelo Bielsa. He's had a great reputation in foreign leagues. Came into Leeds, completely changed the culture. He revolutionized a style of play in the championship. Was very good in the championship, and when Leeds finally got promoted, he's done a decent job this season. And with his contract expiring this summer, what are your thoughts on Marcelo Bielsa?
Personally, I don't really see a more capable coach to take on this role, really. Bielsa's always been coaching the smaller teams, and he brings an intensity that Leeds was clearly lacking, like the intensity in trainings, the intensity to want to do better, because all of these guys are pretty much fighting for the same thing, pretty much all of them, as every footballer does. They want to get to the higher level clubs with bigger paychecks, bigger salaries, a better chance of winning trophies. And, it got to a point that even Pep Guardiola was sending some of his younger players on loan, and other coaches as well, on loan to Leeds, telling them this guy is going to make you a better player. And that's the great part about Bielsa. He brings a lot of passion to the game. And, I haven't seen Leeds fans this excited in years. So it's a pretty great thing. I'm really hoping that he does resign. It's really tough to go into the Premier League after not being there for years and perform at a great level. Remember when Leicester went into the Premier League their first year after not being there for a long time, they didn't do so well. Then they were league champions eventually with Ranieri. But, Bielsa might be crazy, but he does know how to win games. He does know how to study the game very well. And his dedication is unmatched, really. So he's definitely the right guy for the job. And I can't say I hate having him there. It's really great find that Leeds picked up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure for all the Leeds fans out there, I think the vast majority would probably agree with everything you just said. I have to say Bielsa's, he's definitely exceeded expectations this season. Although Leeds at the moment right now, I think they're
not
around
that great in the table.
Place in the Premier League. Just coming back, I think, I agree with you. If Leeds want to take steps forward, getting rid of Marcelo Bielsa is definitely not the way to go.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's definitely to back him. And a sub question on Bielsa. What have your thoughts been in terms of his tactics and in terms of this, 4-1-4-1 formation that he's been playing all
Right.
season? Are you a fan of it?
Yeah. But obviously you need to have the right set of players to use it, which is why we've seen several times when Leeds comes up against the big teams, they get killed. They had a really bad loss the first time around against Manchester United. But more than that, yeah, I know. But more than that, it's Bielsa is adaptable. He completely switched up his formation against Manchester United. He played on the more conservative side. And, a 0-0 draw may seem boring and like a loss for Man United fans, but for Leeds fans, it's a good accomplishment for us. And man, that game was rough though.
Yeah.
It's like fouls every 10 seconds.
We should absolutely annihilated you.
No.
I woke up at 6 a.m.
Oh man.
6 a.m. Game was about to kick off. Turn on my phone, thinking, what is the starting lineup? I see McTominay and Fred. I shut off my phone and I'm thinking, I'm going back to sleep. I already know what's gonna happen. I didn't. I sat up and watched the game. And was I correct in let me go back to sleep? I already know how the game is gonna end. Yes, I was correct. Anyway,
Right. So you feel it's more Ole's decision making that caused Man United to not get the 3 points?
yeah, 100%. But this isn't.
Yeah, I guess I can see that, but also I feel like he made the mistake in underestimating how much the Leeds players actually want it. You know,
I mean, this isn't the
because
Manchester anniversary
that in itself is a huge thing.
analysis, but to be honest with you, I personally disagree. I don't think he underestimated Leeds in any way, shape, or form. I just think it's the same.
He could have put out a better team though. You and I both agree on
Yeah,
that,
he
bro.
could have, but it's not just Leeds. It's against every single team in the league. Like Maguire and Lindelof, that's just nothing new. McFred is nothing new. Playing Pogba on the wing, that's been nothing new. You know,
Although I kind of like Pogba on the wing, to be fair.
he doesn't give any of it. And people know how much I love Paul Pogba, and people know how much I absolutely love and adore him. Above so many people. People know my thoughts on that man. But I just don't like seeing it. I mean, for me, Marcelo Bielsa is just a far superior tactical coach than to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's just no contest. But anyways,
Yeah,
this is
it's
Ole
it's
Gunnar
but it's
Solskjaer's
also
show.
the experience though. Bielsa's been doing this for decades
Yeah,
now.
100%. And anyways, this is not the
100%. And
Solskjaer show. This is the lead show. And talking
the
about
lead show. Yeah.
not
Still waiting on my jersey. So
well, don't worry because we all know you support Leeds as much as you support Atletico Madrid, just as much as you support Griezmann's amazing dance moves, celebratory dance moves when he scores for Barca.
I'm gonna act like I didn't hear you say that.
Anyways, the second question I wanted to get into, Leeds United have had some standout players this season. They've had some very, very good players this
I
season.
completely agree.
In terms of who, in your opinion, is your player of the year? And if there isn't a player of the year, if you couldn't decide on like one, who would be, let's say, a top three?
Well, I know that he's had shaky performances, but as a whole, lead has also had just shaky performances. But I'm really pleased with Melier in net. I love his way that he can take 6 goals on him and then the next game bounce back and keep a clean sheet. You know, I think he's a great young goalkeeper. Uh, Probably not the best on Leeds, but one of my favorite players to watch. Uh, then the obvious ones are Bamford. Bamford's been great. He's a great goal scorer. He came from your academy, by the way. So he's been great, but he's still learning as well. I think that's the whole thing about Leeds is that you have a lot of really great players that are not quite there yet, but look great. From what I've seen of Rodrigo when he is playing,
Yeah,
he's
that was
great.
actually going to be in a whole nother question, actually, and I'll throw it up
Oh,
now
yeah.
since you mentioned
Yeah.
Rodrigo.
Rodrigo's a great player. I
What
really
can I
like.
say about this guy? He arrived for, I think, about 20, 30 million pounds from Valencia. 29
Yeah.
years old. Coming in from Valencia. One of the, one of the, we we can, say for fair, he was definitely one of the bigger name strikers in the Liga, without
Yeah. Yeah,
comes into
definitely.
Leeds. Marcelo Bielsa gives him a whole new role.
As a
And
winger, right?
he just more or less flopped. He was good in the beginning of the season, but then he fell off due to injuries, inconsistencies. Have
Yeah.
you been disappointed with Rodrigo this season?
No, I mean, it's I guess it is a little bit disappointing, but Rodrigo is still, when he's fit, he can get his job done and he is still learning,
He's
you know.
29 now.
Yeah, but nothing happens overnight. Remember, like a player's prime years are not very long. It's like estimated around 27 to 30, not that's like 32 are your like prime years as a player, that you have enough experience and that you have enough like skill and, physical like shape. But I think Rodrigo can be a key player for Leeds. He definitely has it up here and with his feet. He has everything that you'd want in a winger, and I don't think Bielsa's wrong in putting him there, but he
They're
needs to
playing more
learn
as
to
like one of the
adjust.
two in midfield. Like you have your central defense midfielder, and then you have your two number
Phillips.
10s in
Yeah.
behind. He hasn't been playing him in his natural number 9 role.
Yeah, I mean, but Bamford has been really, you know, Bamford's really
Yeah,
been the
justified.
spark for the team a lot of the time. So,
Justified. Yeah.
uh, if you're Bielsa, I think you do need to favor Bamford. He's been great.
Yeah, 100%.
Uh, and then if we could also say Kalvin Phillips, when he's healthy,
Mm-hmm.
he's a huge help for the
That was
team.
actually another player that I was actually going to ask you for your potential, top 3 player of the year. Actually, going back to that
Yeah,
question now, since we've more or less talked about Rodrigo, I want to go back to that question on your top 3 player potential, player of the years, and that was one player that I was thinking that you'd maybe mention, Kalvin.
yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
I uh, I don't know if I agree with the whole hype of what is it, the Yorkshire PIRLO, but he has a lot of really great qualities as a midfielder, and I'm glad that we have him. That being said, he's not yet at a elite center defensive midfield level,
Yeah.
but he still has time to learn,
Oh,
and
definitely.
he's
Yeah.
growing. And I can definitely see a big club willing to put the money down for him. And I feel like he'll flourish with better teammates around him.
Yeah. I fully agree with that.
And for me, he was really great in the Man United match.
Yeah, he was excellent against
Yeah,
Manchester United. And Kalvin Phillips going time traveling back to the back end of last season when Leeds won the championship. Gareth Southgate was calling him up to
yeah,
senior matches when he was in the
yeah.
championship. He was in the championship playing for Leeds.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah,
amazing. The guy
talk
definitely
about
has a lot of
you know
talent.
people can talk about Jude Bellingham, who is a wonderful talent. That
Yeah,
kid,
he
that
is. He
boy is
is.
gonna go very far in life, and I am livid with how certain club were super competent after he was shown around Carrington with Sir Alex Ferguson and
Mm.
meeting Eric Cantona and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer um, and he chose Dortmund because he knew that would be better for his career. And honestly, he was definitely correct in doing that. And
Yeah,
anyways, getting back to
definitely.
Kalvin Phillips, he's just. I mean, for me, I look at Kalvin Phillips and I see him as not necessarily his successor, but similar to Declan Rice. And I mean, for me, Declan Rice is the best central defensive midfielder in the Premier League this season. I know you
Mm.
could go on about your Contes and whatnot. If you look about this season, Declan Rice for me has been the best central defensive midfielder in the league this
Fair.
season. Anyways, we're not talking about Declan Rice. We're talking about
Talking
Leeds.
about Leeds.
And there are two more players I wanted to talk about for maybe your potential player of the year. I'll start with Stuart Dallas. This guy's been thrown in
Oh
everywhere,
yeah,
literally
yeah,
everywhere.
he's
Uh,
definitely the most versatile player on Leeds.
he's so versatile, and for me
That plays a huge
that
role.
performance against Manchester City for me was to stand out. Uh,
Which one? The first one or the second
the
game?
second one, where
Yeah, he was really great.
City. Um,
Dallas has like the creativity and the killer instinct to play as an attacking mid or even up top or even on the wing. And yet he also has like the defensive IQ and technique to be a defender, you know? And I feel like when Phillips was injured, Dallas did a pretty good job of like helping to share the load, you
yeah.
know, which
I think
is it's always really important. I mean, you go anywhere, don't coaches tell you you need to learn how to play more than one position?
yeah.
This guy can play pretty much anywhere on the field.
Yeah, and he can do a very decent job of it. And the last player I want to get into is, I mean, is my favorite player on Leeds, who
Mhm.
would fit perfectly if Manchester United threw the money. I mean, for me, their best and biggest summer signing, Mr. Rafinha. What more
Yeah,
can I say about this
Rafinha's.
guy than I've said in past shows, past episodes? I mean, you can ask myself, you can ask Robbo, you can ask
Yeah,
Sid,
yeah.
you can ask
No,
Jose,
I have to
you can ask
agree.
Andre.
Rafinha's been great. Rafinha's been great, although there's times that I feel like he doesn't make the right pass. You know, he'll get in offensive positions where it could be better to find the open teammate, and you'll have that option like pretty much right in front of him and still look to shoot on goal. Not saying that he does it every time or like the guy doesn't get assists because he can, but that's really like my only point of criticism for him. I still feel like he's a great player.
Yeah. I mean, I really wouldn't mind if Sancho's not around. If but it's an English club, so you know what that means. It's an English club, so I already know what price that's going to be. Instead of being
Oh
about
yeah,
30-40 million pounds, you already know it's going to be 70 million, 80. You already know. You just
yeah.
already,
Especially if it's like a direct competitor.
and especially if it's a direct rival as well, which
Exactly.
there's
Yeah.
little to no chance. But yeah, Rafinha.
Although you know you never know, weird stuff happens. Remember Suarez went to Atletico for practically nothing.
No, for literally nothing.
No, it was a
5 million.
Atletico had to pay like 5 million
Yeah,
to
five
Barca.
million. 5 million for someone who I think is still second top goal scorer in the league.
He's third now. Benzema passed him.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
He's definitely Atletico's top scorer by
but
a million miles. If
Llorente is pretty close.
oh yeah, there's another player that would be perfect for Man United's number six mark.
Tell me what team Llorente does not fit into. For me, he's been the best playmaking attacking mid of La Liga.
But again, we're not talking about this club.
Exactly.
We're talking about Leeds. Um,
Right.
Second to last question on Leeds that I have for you. In terms of areas that need to be addressed or strengthened in the summer, as we've seen, Leeds have definitely struggled with injuries. They've had
Yeah.
injury crises at different times of the season, and whatnot, and Bielsa's kind of struggled to kind of cope with that at times.
Mhm.
Maybe maybe other than a potential better translator in press conferences, what do you think? Uh,
No, leave the
what-
translator alone, man. That guy does really well. But well, Bielsa's trainings are known to be super intense. He plays a very high pressing style. He plays on the counter attack as well. Um, and you know, it requires players to be able to maintain doing more than what their body is really capable of in a day. And that's why players break down, and there's also always injury crises at whatever team Bielsa coaches. You know, it happened when he was coaching in Spain. It happened when he was coaching in France. So
Mhm.
for me, it kind of seems like there needs to be more of a balance. especially at like the middle late of the season, especially during that period, like the home stretch. Definitely some lighter practices, not like light
I was talking
practices.
about the transfer window.
Oh.
I was talking about the transfer window in terms of, like, positioning, like what positions need reinforcing. Because I'm for what I've seen this season, Leeds'
Yeah.
center back pairing hasn't been out of this world. I'll say that.
No, it's not been great. It's not been great. I feel like we could also use the left back as
Yeah,
well.
Alioski's gone to Galatasaray in the summer, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a placement there.
yeah. Oh, along with that, because Rodrigo's been getting injured so often, I feel like a winger would be good to have, even if it's just a backup winger.
Attacking midfielder, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like an attacking midfielder to play next to Dallas would be good as well.
Yeah,
But you know, it's it's tough to call from these sort of things. Leeds doesn't exactly have the biggest budget. That's why I kind of feel like it's more important for them to focus on training, to not overtire players, but to keep players at their prime, peak fitness rather than spending.
yeah, fully agree with that. And the last question I have for you on Leeds is who's your standout player, who's your favorite player on Leeds if you had to choose one?
I mean, I used to play as a center defensive mid. It probably has to be Calvin Phillips.
Fair enough, not a bad choice.
Dallas is probably my second. He's been great.
Yeah, Kalvin Phillips is definitely not a bad choice. Sad.
Yeah.
And into the final segment, these questions aren't really Leeds based, but just something, just a bit of, because it's literally been ages since the last time I've even seen you,
Yeah.
literally ages. And I just want to ask you a couple of, just a couple of fun questions. First off, who do you think is going to win the Champions League of the four teams remaining?
Personally, I feel Chelsea, and that may sound dumb to some people.
No, no, it wouldn't.
But Chelsea is kind of like the dark horse for me. I really don't know what to expect of them. Uh, but Real Madrid is not as strong as they were in past years.
No, no. I think
Along
we
with
were
mentioned
making
before that Chelsea has, yeah. I think we've also seen earlier this season with Tuchel that Chelsea has the power to beat the big teams. They took care of City in the FA Cup final.
at
You know,
semifinal.
semifinal, not final. My bad. And they took out Atletico, who are right now in control and in first in Spain in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I feel like Chelsea with Tuchel is a completely different Chelsea than the one with Lampard.
Oh, yeah. I think anybody with with a sensible brain or sensible brain and IQ would 100% back you in every way, shape, or form. Lampard's,
Yeah, Lampard. To give credit to him, he's definitely not a bad coach. He's just not
experience.
as experienced, and
No, it's
he
not.
wasn't the right fit.
Um, and for me, even when they appointed Frank Lampard as the manager, I mean, they could have gone anybody. I mean, they
Exactly.
could have thought
Yeah.
Allegri, but instead of Maurizio Sarri, they immediately thought Frank Lampard would be the way to go. Maybe it was because they saw this transfer ban coming and they thought maybe they needed someone to just, you know, you know,
Who knows the
maybe
ethics of the
for
club?
years, see how they do, maybe back them in the next window, whatnot. But yeah, that just
I don't know. Like, is it maybe just me? But it seems like a lot of clubs are having this whole ordeal of like wanting to sign
yeah,
someone who used to play for them.
as of recent.
After seeing like Zidane do so well as the coach of Real
That's like,
Madrid. What
but
was
but
that?
even then, I have to say, I mean, not only is he number two, I mean, he managed, I think the under 23 sides, and he managed all. I'm not saying that makes you, 100% the man to take the Real Madrid job because not.
No, no. Zidane is a very special case. You have a lot of people who are amazing as players, but you put them in the coaching and they're just not good.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'm not really getting this whole re-signing club
Yeah,
legend
I don't get it.
Um, um, unless if they've proven to be qualified. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
and Zidane was coaching professionally before like going to Real Madrid.
yeah, and joining their coaching and joining Rafa's coaching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, and Zidane, I think it's very easy to say. I mean, he's proved that he has been like one of the few cases where
Yeah, he's one
a
of the best
player
coaches of this
and they,
decade, you
I mean,
know?
he won the Champions League 3 times in a row.
Yeah,
That's
it's
not
impressive.
you don't just no ordinary person wins the Champions League 3 times in a row. That just
I
doesn't
mean, no ordinary person wins the Champions League, you
That's very
know?
true. And that is
So, I
that is
mean, even there's more examples than that. Simeone used to play for Atletico, you know, and
hasn't won the Champions League, but
he
he's
has not won the Champions League, but he's taken Atletico to 2 Champions League finals. Along with that, he's won La Liga with Atletico, Copa del Reyes. Um, and it's hard when you have two clubs like two giants like Barca and Real Madrid that you constantly have to compete with for these trophies.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The next question I have for you, who in your opinion is the best youngster in the Premier League?
I gotta say, Foden, he's
Yeah,
the guy's phenomenal. He's been phenomenal all year. He had a great game against against Dortmund.
he was very good against PSG as
He
well.
was very good against PSG as well. The guy has a lot of talent. He's left-footed. You know, he's quick. His decision making is incredibly fast. He can see the field really well. He can see passes that you don't even see when you're watching on the TV,
Mhm.
you know.
All the
And
Pep Guardiola hype is finally coming to fruition after all the Phil Foden is going to be the best young player that I've ever coached. He's going to be better than Messi. I think that's one thing that he might just get a bit wrong because
no, come on. That's a joke.
but I think his hype he's been given a consistent run of games.
Mhm.
You know this is a guy who for me I need to see you know you know my team that I'm rooting for in the Euros. I need to see Gareth Southgate take that guy. If you know
Yeah, yeah.
you don't take
No,
Phil Foden, Gareth Southgate,
Foden's a great,
I'm
great
I'm
young
gonna ask a
talent.
lot of questions.
Yeah,
Definitely, but yeah,
yeah.
he's been outstanding. Are there any other youngsters that you thought of just been exceptionally well, maybe closer to Phil Foden, or do you think Phil Foden just blows everybody is out of the way?
Not that he blows everyone out of the way, but if I had to rank it, I would put him on like a pedestal that's above the others. Like just like not like the others are like way down here and he's up here, you know. It's he's a notch higher in quality.
And who
And
is close to him?
I would say Saka from Arsenal, as long along with Mason Greenwood from Manchester United, phenomenal young talent.
And so he's been very good as a recent
Yeah,
Mason
very
Greenwood. He's
good.
been massive. He's been so important for us. And Bukayo Saka, I've been saying it all season.
Great
Um,
player.
um, and for people, and I'm not going to talk about Saka for just so it doesn't give the people who will start calling me a so-called Arsenal fan because I rate them.
Oh man. But uh Wolves has a bunch of young players with potential, but I haven't really seen any of them like show us anything phenomenal. Adama Traore has a lot of hype around him, but this season his
He's not
performance
young.
hasn't been.
He's
Yeah.
definitely not young. Um,
Oh,
um,
he's not young.
no.
How old is he?
I think he's like 23, 24.
That's young in soccer.
No, no. What I'm saying youngsters, I mean like golden boys, like like
Yeah,
Jen,
yeah, yeah. I
like
get you. I
20
get
and
you.
under and whatnot. Um, and is into my next question. Who, in your opinion, is should be getting the PFA Player of the Year in the Premier League this season? No
See,
pressure.
that's tough because personally, I feel like when De Bruyne is healthy, he's the best player in the Premier League,
But
and
he's been,
He's been injured
ravaged with injuries.
so
So it can't
much.
be Kevin De Bruyne.
No, it can't. It really can't. Um, Gundogan has been really good, but I'm not sure he's at the you know, best player of the league level.
And he's also had so many great players alongside him at that Manchester City.
Yeah,
He hasn't had to.
definitely.
I'm not trying to push you towards an answer. I mean, some people are going to say, "Oh, you're trying to push you towards an answer."
No, I mean the truth is I don't really have one. The Premier League is so competitive and so unpredictable, and you'll see one week it's like this guy takes over, and then the next week it's this guy. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
If you
it's
had to throw
been
out a name, is what I'm saying.
yeah. Oh man, that's tough. God, honestly, I have no idea. Maybe Joao Cancelo. He's been great.
For Player of the Year.
Yeah, they give it to Van Dijk. They can give it to Cancelo. At least he does something.
Oh, bro, come on now.
I don't know, bro. I can't really decide.
Bro, honestly, there are so many great players to choose
I
from.
know, but
It's
it's
not
like
an easy decision. It definitely isn't
it's
because
not. It's not
there's no one clear
because also a lot of players that you would consider have just been extremely inconsistent. You know, with injuries and
form.
bad runs of performance. You know,
Definitely.
if De Bruyne wasn't injured for a good chunk of the season, I would have no problem with saying De Bruyne. You know, because when he's healthy, for me, he's the best playmaker in Europe.
Oh yeah. And for people who and as much as I love a certain a Portuguese player. I know it's not Ronaldo. And
No,
a certain little a Portuguese playmaker, and people know how much I love him and I love this guy to bits. But yeah, a prime, fully fit prime Kevin De Bruyne that just blows everybody out
yeah,
of
come
the
on.
water.
De Bruyne has been on another level this year when he's healthy.
Definitely, yeah. Especially and also playing in that in a whole new false nine system
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
been playing this whole season. It's been phenomenal.
He has been.
And into my final question of the show.
I mean, oh, okay, sorry.
Very good. Into my final question of the show. Apart from the two at the top that have been at the top, that have fought for that have fought for being known as the GOAT or the best player in the world. Put those
Oh,
two aside. Who is the best player in the world right now?
without including those two.
No.
Oh,
Without
without including,
without.
without them. Well, when he's healthy, Kevin De Bruyne. I'll flat out say it. When he's healthy, Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the world. If we're not including those two. Although even this year, I'd give the edge to Messi over Ronaldo, even to De Bruyne over Ronaldo. Looking at Ronaldo's recent form,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And it's been appalling.
it's been pretty bad. Juventus want to get rid of him apparently.
Yeah, they do.
It's like
Get rid,
wow.
get rid of
I
him
mean,
and Luigi.
Morata is outscoring him right now.
Yeah. And is there anything else to say before we wrap this segment up?
No, I wanted to ask about like your thoughts of Europa League as well.
Also, the guest is asking the host the questions now. Um,
Yeah. What's your
and
view?
switching the rules.
Yeah.
Um, what's your question on the Europa League? That
Just a prediction, I guess. How do you feel?
oh, geez. Well,
I know that's tough.
going into this game, I thought Man United are gone out of the Europa League because everybody knows that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just doesn't do he he always bottles it in the semis. I don't know what it is, whether it's whether it's him
They have a
or
4-goal lead
whether
right now.
Solskjaer needs some Viagra to help him with that. I genuinely don't know. I don't know. I mean,
But
first
they're up
Cup
6-2
final,
right now. They
first
won the
terrible
first
game.
leg 6-2.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying going into this game, like before. Let's just take a look at Ollie's semifinal record, right? First one, Carabao Cup semifinal, which, to be fair, we were ravaged with injuries, which we had to play Lindelof and Jones. And I think anybody going to this game could see it playing with Lindelof and Jones, Pereira and Fred, and Jesse Lingard, who was like, Mr. Harry Potter in Invincibility Cloak at the time, and an injured Marcus Rashford and a young Mason Greenwood against a Manchester City side who wasn't playing with the striker and was playing with who had De Bruyne, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Raheem Sterling running at Phil Jones and Lindelof, and with Brandon Williams, inexperience coming into that left back's role, and Wan-Bissaka more or less being the best of that back four. I think anybody could have predicted the outcome of that game.
Right.
So we were gone after that. Next, you have the semifinal of the Europa League again, actually, against
Yeah.
Sevilla, going 1-0 up to Bruno Fernandes. And then Maguire, and then Maguire being scared of picking up the striker and looking the right way. Sevilla scored 2 goals. Luke De Jong, don't get me started on that one.
What you need to give credit to Sevilla is that they've won that tournament 3 years in
Oh
a
yeah,
row
so many
before.
times.
Yeah, so many times. Like Sevilla knows what they're doing there, and that's why I picked them to win the final against Inter before that final.
I think anybody could have picked Inter to win that.
Yeah, I picked Sevilla because I was like, nah, Inter's young, but they have experience, but not at this. This is Sevilla's been here before. Then
but
they're going.
under a certain manager, who just slapped a certain North London side 2-1 in the first leg of the Europa,
Yeah.
which the manager was made the same mistakes after going 2-0 up. He thought the game is done, and he just sat back. And then, and yet again, I was definitely very disappointed in Mr. Good Evening today. I was really hoping he would put in something a bit.
So I'm guessing it's more that it's less that you don't like Villarreal. It's less that you like Villarreal than that you don't like Arsenal.
Pretty much. And then the last semifinal, again in the Carabao Cup semifinals, Manchester City. Some people saying, "Oh, Man United could come away with this," but Manchester City utterly dominated Manchester United at Old Trafford again, but this time with a fully fit squad. I think they came out 2-0 winners. I think I think it was Gabriel Jesus and it was John Stones and Fernandinho who scored. The 3 semifinals. And there's another one. The FA Cup semifinal against Chelsea, which United again got slapped 3-1. David De Gea.
No, okay, look, those are fair points.
An
But to be
absolute
fair though,
game.
I don't see Man United losing this semifinal.
No.
No.
The first, we've come here, have done the hard work. For me at this point, it's when I'm looking in that second leg, Derek, is that I want us to go to Rome, extremely high intensity for the first 20, 30 minutes. I want us to get the away goal and then from there sit back. But I want that away goal because
definitely. The with the away goal, it pretty much puts the game.
Because they have 2 away goals, but I mean, for even getting 1 away goal, that means there's they have to score 5.
Right, exactly.
And I know how much you love Roma as a club. But I mean, for me, for Roma, it's definitely time to say goodbye. They're going out. I think finally the semifinal thing's gonna be done. I think Man United won't book their place in the final unless
it was a huge win for Man United.
It was massive, especially going 2-1 down. I was thinking, what on earth is this?
And I saw it. I saw it. I turned it off. Turned off my phone, and then I check a few hours later, and it's a 6-2.
Yeah. And coincidentally, the same score that Man United won by against a certain white team down the lane.
But how'd the last fixture go? Yeah.
If Marcelo Bielsa was stuck with McFred, I don't know what it is about McFred, man. I don't know what it is. I really do not know what it is about freaking McFred. Whether it's whether Ollie has something for them, whether whether the three of them have like have like like an interrotational free flowing like loving relationship with one another. I don't know. I don't know. He, he or I mean it must be that, or he must have the same like loving relationship thoughts about playing Maguire and Lindelof, because he doesn't trust Bailly, who I think Bailly, when
Bailly's
he's
a great
fit,
defender.
he's our best center back. But he's just so injury prone. For me, Eric Bailly is literally just a better Phil Jones. That's literally what he is. He is a much better
He's just not ugly.
and lovable Phil Jones. Well, more than that. He's
Yeah.
also, he can defend. I
Yeah.
really like
Definitely.
Eric Bailly, but look, I'm not saying he's Sergio Ramos. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that he's a heck of a lot better than Phil Jones, and when he's on form, he's on form. But yeah, that's just my own thoughts. But the Europa League, I think Man United's got a place in the final. For Arsenal, Villarreal, I'm really not sure. You cannot trust
Yeah,
this.
Villarreal's gonna win.
You cannot trust that Arsenal side. They have been absolutely and utterly abysmal, in the words of Mr. ESPN FC
They're
pundit.
just they're just so inconsistent. It's ridiculous.
And at home, they've been a shambles. They've been and
Yeah.
look at their past, couple results.
Yeah.
Losing
But
to Everton,
yeah.
drawing Fulham, and I think they beat Sheffield United, and before that, losing 3-0 to Liverpool. And that Liverpool team was poor. Nobody can say that that Liverpool team was good in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Liverpool have been shocking for basically this whole season. Anyways, anything else to say before we wrap this segment up?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, like, do you have a prediction for the Europa League?
In terms of who's
'Cause
going to win it,
I have mine. Yeah, I have mine.
for me, it all depends who wins that second leg. Because regardless of anyone wants to say, it's only 2-1. It's a 2-1 game
I got Villarreal to go all the way, actually.
to win the whole thing.
Yeah, to win the whole thing.
Okay. For me, I don't really have a prediction. For me, here's my thing. If it's Villarreal in the final, I think this is going to be a very boring game, because both managers are very similar in the way they play. And
Villarreal has a great team, though. I'm just gonna put
they
that
have a
out
very
there.
good team. They have a very, very, very good team.
A great
Man
team.
United is obsessed with Pau Torres, who I don't want Pau Torres. Good player, but for me, he's literally the Spanish Lindelof, in my opinion. He literally gives me Spanish Lindelof vibes. He's much better than Lindelof. I just I just think if we get Pau Torres, it's going to be Maguire and Lindelof again. So I don't want Pau Torres as that new center back.
Right.
One player actually would take off of Villarreal's hands if they would ever be so grateful. And Samuel Chukwueze, I'd be more than happy to take him off.
That guy's amazing. That guy's great.
That youngster is
Yeah.
beyond amazing.
What about Sergio Senhor?
Their goalkeeper?
Yeah, I think he can play. Personally.
He's a decent goalkeeper, but the last thing Man United needs is another freaking goalkeeper.
No, I'm not saying for Man United to buy him. I'm just saying the guy is a great goalkeeper.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's definitely a decent goalkeeper. I don't watch, a Villarreal every week, just because I'm not.
Me neither.
I'm not.
Yeah. For the same reason I don't watch Man United every week. You don't watch Villarreal every week.
100%. Well, is that all you have to say before we wrap up the show? Or
Am I allowed to curse?
preferably not. But if you really feel the motivation, go for it.
Fuck the Super League.
Yes, Super League can fucking do one. Well, anyways, Derek, it's been a blast, man. It's been a long time since I've seen you. It's been very good to see you yet again. If you've liked,
invite me back on, bro.
if you've liked what you've seen, from my G Derek, and go please, smash that like button. And please subscribe to the channel and check out our other platforms below on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And wherever you are watching this in the world, have a great day. And in the words of Unai Emery, good evening.